Hello, my name is Hope. I work with Clients First Business Solutions, where Clients First isn't just our name, it's our creed. And today I'm really excited to give you a ProMRO process tour from quote to cash. ProMRO sits on top of and works seamlessly with Dynamics 365. We will start the tour with a quick view of the ProMRO module menu. Note we have two options for our starting point: a quick create quote form and the standard work order quote form. I'll bet you can guess the difference between these two. One is a little quicker and more simplified. For this demo, we'll choose the standard form. From the work order quote, we will hit New to start working on our new quote. From here, we choose the customer or prospect, type a description, input the customer requisition and PO references. Note you need to choose a quotation type. The quotation type can be used for reporting as well as pricing. For example, let's say you create two quoting types. One might be based on work done during standard times, Monday through Friday 8 to 5, for a standard price. That's what I've chosen here, ST. The other could be created for work that needs to be done with urgency, thus requiring overtime. For this quotation type, we could call it OT, and we would set it to charge 1.5 times the normal hourly rate for the work done. Note we will choose the equipment for the work order. ProMRO allows you to track not only the services you provide, but also the equipment the work is done on. You can either do this generically by tracking the manufacturer, model, and equipment type, or you can track specific pieces of equipment related to a customer. The quote due date and the customer due date are important fields as they will help you monitor tasks and ensure the very best customer service. As you can see, work order QW00044 was created. Now we will move down to the request line where we will fill in the required by date. This is the date you need estimates to come back to you from the estimate centers. Make sure you have enough time available afterwards so you can create the quote, get it approved into the customer by the customer's required date. Next, we need to add the action items which will outline the work that needs to be done. Note each action is linked to an estimate center. Once completed, we can dispatch these actions to the estimate centers requesting they give us a quote for the services required. Now each estimate center will be notified they have work that needs to be completed via the action dispatch form. Note the top of the form shows the actions that need to be estimated. Whichever action is selected at the top has its details shown at the bottom. The Note section on the Details tab allows for internal communication. The Services tab is what the estimator will use to create the estimate, and the Quote Language tab allows the estimator to outline any specifics that need to be included on the quote. Over to the Services tab, so now we're going to move over to the Services tab so we can add some services to this estimate. I'm drilling down to the service details for just a sec. Just want to explain them. You can create a service in the system for each of the repeatable or similar services that your organization performs. Services will encompass the price to be charged, the steps that need to be completed, the type and number of resources, as well as the total labor hours required for completion. You can also include instructions for the work centers, and you can include any related expenses or items that might possibly be related to the task within the service. Okay, now back to the work order and let's add a service. You do that by clicking Add Services. The services that pop up on the Add Services screen are filtered by Status and Estimate Center. And to help ensure accuracy in the selection, you're able to view the task associated with the service as well as the Work Center instructions. You are able to add both required and optional services to a work order quote. Once the services are added, select the component and mark the line as reviewed when done. Note, if you added a service as an option, you will need to select the option button on the line to designate this. Then you can update the status of this action as complete. Once the action has been estimated and completed, you, as the salesperson, will be notified so you can start working on the quote again. So, back to the quote we went, and then to action items. You'll note that each of the action item status is completed. Now it's time to move on to the quote builder. The quote builder is a powerful tool that allows a salesperson the flexibility to slice, dice, and build a quote in ways that will satisfy even the most demanding of customers. Note the quote tree on the left. This structure is built based on services. However, with the quote builder, you're able to add subgroups, split lines, merge lines, and move lines. Note, the quote builder allows you to view and edit the quote language as needed. And now would be a good time to do a little margin analysis. Margin analysis allows you to review the pricing and margins. You can even set new values and then analyze what the overall effect would be to your profit margin. And if you decide to update that pricing, you have several ways to do that. You can take the new sales value and go from the header down to lines by either amount or percent, or you can build from the lines up to the header. ProMRO offers the powerful tools your sales personnel need to make sales. Once the quote is completed, it's time to submit it to the workflow for approval. Once the quote is approved, it can be sent to the customer. Then, once you know if you're going to win or lose, you can record this and why in the system for further sales analysis. When a quote is accepted by a customer, you are ready to turn it into a project so work can get started. Let's do that now. A wizard will walk us through turning the work order quote into a project. If your work order quote included an option, this is where you tell the system if the customer accepted the option or not. Then you'll be able to view the project structure. You may have noted that we went from options to structure and values. We skipped messages because we didn't have any errors that would stop us from turning the work order quote into a project. If something was missing, like the customer due date, the wizard would not move past the message page. You'd have to fix it before you moved on. When you click Finish, the project will be created. Note, when you return to the work order quote, you'll be able to see that the project ID was created and is linked to it. Now that we have a project, we can get to work. Let's put on our operations hat and go take a look at services that need to be performed. In Services Details, you're able to see the tasks that need to be completed, the estimated time to complete these tasks, along with the Work Center instructions, as well as any associated products that might be needed. So now work on the project begins, and we need to record the parts we need to take out of stock as well as the ones that need to be ordered specially. All this is done through Item Requirements. Item Requirements lets the system know that there is a need for these items in relation to this specific project. If the items are in stock, they can be picked and posted to this project via this Item Requirements screen. If the items aren't in stock, Master Planning will plan either a transfer order to transfer it from another location, or it'll plan a purchase order so that the item can be purchased. And once this item is received, they can be picked and posted, or once these items are received into stock, they can be picked and posted to the project as well. Then we need to add time entry, project statements, and quick invoicing, and we're ready to move on to cash.